Well, good evening, everyone. Hey, it's Linda Anderson here from Linda Lou Creates. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Hey, I wanted to share some cards with you that we did the other night during one of our team meetings. Lynn Dunn, who is our team leader, she's my upline, headed this up, giving us all of the dimensions for these cards, and we created them. And I loved how easy they were and how fabulous they looked. So I want to share them with you. Her page is Stamptastic Designs. This morning she did something similar with her Facebook Live. Go check it out, because she did then with some other paper and some other stamp sets. And I'm kind of doing the same thing. It's funny how she and I, our minds kind of work together. So anyway, these were the cards that I created the other night using the hand-penned suite, the papers, the stamp set. So I really, like I said, really liked how these turned out. So much so that I thought, I'm going to make another set. So in comes then the, oh gosh, it just slipped my mind, the pansy set. Perfect pansy. Anyway, maybe someone can help me out. Same dimensions, just different paper, different stamp sets. And I mean, you really get a totally different look with it. So this is the pansy set. So I thought, all right, I've done two different designs here using flower paper. So let's make some masculine cards. So that's what I'm going to share with you tonight. Then is the bundle that I'm using here. It's Your Biggest Fan, the stamp set, and then the set of dies. So this is the one that I chose. It's out of the mini catalog. And this is the one that I'm going to create for you tonight. Now, usually I have already made up a set before I dive into my Facebook Lives, just so I know if I need to tweak it or anything. You know, maybe you don't see it on camera, but I have it there. So I'm kind of winging it. So bear with me on this. So let's just get into the parts and then the measurements. That's the most, the funnest part. You can use whatever you have on hand. So I have Poppy Parade. Love my top folding cards. So that means that it's 11 by 4 1/4. That middle space there for the score line is at 5 1/2. Inside, I just went with the very vanilla this time and just used a piece of scrap of the Designer Series paper from that suite, and also then the Happy Birthday as well. That was 5 1/4 by 4, so I'm going to set this aside. So now, as far as the Designer Series paper goes, this piece is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have this piece that is 2 inches by 5 1/4. So all I'm going to do now is adhere those two together and then adhere them down to my card base. So this is obviously double-sided, so you can get lots and lots of choices whenever you have that double-sided paper. So let me go ahead and put this down. I did cheat a little bit. I always do. I'm always the rule breaker, I swear. But if you have scraps of paper and not enough for this full size 4 by 5 1/4, still cut out your 2 by 5 1/4, but each of these then can be 1 inch. And then you'll be fine. You'll still be able to make this design. I'm lazy and just went ahead and cut the full size and then put that 2-inch strip on top. So like I said, you can certainly change it up as you need to with the type of paper that you have. So, all right, so here we go. Now, keeping it simple, that's what I like to do with masculine cards. And I went ahead, one of the papers has all of these pennants on it. So I used the die cut that out, and yep, put all my dimensionals on the back. So now I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down across the front of my paper, or front of my card rather. especially the fact that this is paper as opposed to cardstock, I do want to make sure. I mean, I normally put a lot of dimensionals on anyway, but like I said, because this is thinner, because it's paper, as opposed to the heavier weight cardstock, I am going to make sure I put enough on there. Now I just cut out, or stamped rather, the You're Amazing. So we're going to celebrate because you are amazing. And then say happy birthday too. So I have some dimensionals there. Just going to put just a dab of glue so I can figure out exactly where I want to put this. And that looks to be about right. Now this, oh, I didn't get that out of the package. Hang on. This suite also has these awesome resin stars that I'm struggling to get out of the packaging right now. There we go. All right, so here they are. And I'm just going to add a few of these to the card. I try not to overdo it with embellishments for masculine cards, but this one looks like it could use some. So let's see, red, yellow. I think I'm going to go with red. So let's go ahead and get some stars on here. Here, and one more. I like it on the blue. So there we go. All right, done with that one. So super simple, and yeah, just making use of all your paper then. Okay, let me show you then the next card. So the next one is based off of this design, and let me pull it in then what I have with this set here. So my card base this time is Bumblebee. It is the 8.5 by 5.5. The score line this time is at 4 1/4. Now inside I'd stamped and then put just a scrap piece of my paper in there. So what I have is again a piece of the paper from the Your Biggest Fan suite. This one measures 4 by 4 1/4. All right, so it's just going to go top to bottom on this card, so, or card base. Now, there's a bit of a story behind this, and I will tell you when I get to the third card. But I have these two strips. This is Night of Navy, 4 1/4, and these are just 1/4 of an inch wide, and they're just going to go on either side here. If you prefer to adhere it down to a piece of cardstock, the full thing that's 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, go ahead, or 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So go ahead and do that. You know, you can certainly do that. But I just decided to just use these little strips. I also have another piece of, this one, can you tell, is my favorite. I love this star paper. Anyway, it's 1.5 inches wide, 4 inches long. So it's just going to go straight across the center. Okay, so let's just get going to adhering things down. I like to build off of my card base first as much as I can. So this way I'm going to go ahead and I'll show you what I mean, what I like to do here. Let me get this down. So this strip is just going to go right through the center. Now, what would happen if, like, well, by gosh, by golly, look at this. I see a little bit of red showing. So obviously this bottom piece is slightly longer than what this is. I can have a chance of cutting this off as opposed to if I put it down first onto my card base. So let me just scoot over here. Let me just give that a quick little run through. And now I like that. Now it's nice and even. So that's just why I kind of build it first before putting it onto the card base. So I didn't really plan that, honestly. So, but it worked out perfectly. So I could show you what exactly I was talking about. So now I'm going to go ahead. Let's put this down right to the card base, trying to center it, which I'm not always very good at, but having the liquid glue certainly does help, gives you that chance to move it around if you have to. All right, so let's go ahead and get this strip here this 1/4 inch strip. There we go. Sorry, I just bumped the camera. I am so good at doing that. I apologize. All right. So now I'm just going to have that smushed right up against that DSP there. So, and now let's get this piece on. And then, sorry, I can't talk and do this at the same time. There we go. All right, so I went ahead and this die, this ticket die, yes, came out of the sports event dies here, and it is pretty awesome. It cuts out the shape, but then it also just kind of cuts out this stitched line right through it as well. So there are things on the DSP that you could cut out, or like what I did here is I just cut out and then stamped my most valuable dad on this one, so that hope your day is a grand slam. So whether this is, I think I meant to, yeah, that one goes on here. Where is my, you know what? I don't have anything to put on here. How crazy is that? This is what a live will do to you. It'll mess with you. This was something I had wanted to put on here to say, to have a happy birthday, and I did not do anything to complete this card. So tell you what I'll do is I will finish this and post it on my Facebook page and on my blog. Kind of embarrassed by this, but you know, that's what life gets you sometimes. I thought I was well ahead of the game, and boom, I was not. So that card, be on the lookout for it. It's coming a little bit later. Ay, ay, ay. Now, here is the last card. This is the one that we did during our team meeting. I will give you all the dimensions for all of the pattern paper here. Lynn, our team leader, had us cut out a piece that was 4 1/4. Initially, it was by 1 inch, and then she wanted us to tear it down the center because it was to go on 2 cards. I don't like paper tearing, so I just cut mine. Then I had this 1/2 inch piece, and that's where those 2 1/4 inch strips came from. So that's my story with that. So yeah, I have to cut things. I'm just not, paper tearing is just not my thing. So, all right. So let me bring this one back in. Kind of had these 2 pieces here. So this piece is 3 by 4. And then you have these 2 pieces that are 2 1/4 by 2. So 2 1/4 by 2. Now that's the layout of the card, but it doesn't say that that's the way it has to be. So I looked at this and I saw a flag. So of course I thought, well then I have to move this over to here. And then this piece here. And then I am completely disregarding that 1/2 inch strip then. I'm not putting it on at all. Let me show you real quick this other one that I did with the pansy set. That strip, that 1/2 inch strip, I made it 5 1/4 long, and I put it across the card this way, landscape, as opposed to up and down. So see, you make it your own, right? So, so I'm going with the flag look on this. It just kind of gave me that vibe. So, all right, so let's get this 3 by 4 inch card or DSP piece. You would think this was the very first time I ever did a live. The way I am just messing up my words, messing up my cards. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Thank you, Beth, for saying that happens. Yep, it does. So, all right, so that's the 3x4. This is now the 2 1/4 by 2. So I want the 2 1/4 across this way, across the top. That way the 2 1/4 plus the 3 gives you that 5 1/4 total, which is our kind of like the usual, the standard layer on directly onto the card. All right, so I have 2 pieces of this, and so let's go ahead and put that down. All right, so like I said, that kind of gave me a flag vibe there. So now let me come back with the the piece that I was trying to put on the other card. So this is the ticket that I die cut out, put on the most valuable dad. And then I tried various colors. I didn't like just the plain vanilla, too much vanilla against it. I tried the blue, I tried the red, I tried the yellow, nothing. So within this paper pack, Evening Evergreen is a color that they have in there. So I'm like, fine, I'll go with the Evening Evergreen. Now I stamped with the Night of Navy, but this is Evening Evergreen. And let me bring it in because I forgot to tell you what the measurements are on that. So it is 1 7/8 by 3 3/8 then. So I just went ahead, adhered those down, and put my dimensionals on the back. So let's get this put down. And now I'm going to fill in this with some of these stars. So let me find my pick tool, and I'm actually going to go with, I'm going to put the red, a blue, and a yellow. Okay, so there I have shown you 2.5 cards. So super simple here. I just put again another strip of my favorite design, my favorite pattern out of that pack, because I wanted to make this one a Father's Day card. So that's where we got that. And then as soon as I can get my act together, I will complete this card, so I can show you what that's going to look like. So that one's going to be a fun one too. So very versatile, these the patterns, the cuts of all of that paper. Use it that way. Sometimes all you need is like a little stepping stone, or a starting off point, and these measurements I think would do it. So let me bring in these cards that started this whole thing. I then went with this set to create some more flower cards, and now I've worked on some of the masculine cards, and oops, let's put it this way, and then hide this one since it's not really complete. So here's all kinds of cards, all using pretty much the same dimensions. I would love for you to give this a try. Create these 3 cards of your own and then share them on my page. I would love it. Put them in this post, comment with your cards. Show me what you used. I would love it. So anyway, hey, thanks so much for joining me, patting me on the back and saying it's okay that you messed up. So, like I said, be on the lookout. My blog, lindaloucreates.com, and also my Facebook page. I'll be sure and get this one completed and on there. So anyway, hey guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great week. Take care now. Bye.